Today's notes is just rotations day 2. There are no new vocabulary words. Okay, so for the first example, you're now going to rotate not off of the origin, but off of the point. So before, we would always rotate off of the origin, and it was just easy because we could just rotate our paper, regraph the points in another way. But now, instead of graphing off of the origin 0, 0, we're graphing off of a point. So the easiest way for me to figure this out is for you to imagine that A is now your origin. So if it helps you, using the figure, make your X and Y axis off of there. So now you're going to rotate 90 degrees clockwise from point A. So clockwise would be to take this figure and rotate it to the right. So everything that's up here at the top will go at the bottom. So from point A to point B, it's just going 4 up. So we're now going to graph 4 out. So count from point A, go 1, 2, 3, 4, and that is my new point B. C is just 2 to the right of it. So C is now 2 to the right of that if you were to tilt it sideways. There's C prime. D prime is just 2 from A. So D prime is 2 from A. And technically, A prime is A. Anytime you're rotating off of the point, that point is still a part of your new transformation. So here is my new rectangle rotated 90 degrees clockwise. Next example, I want you to rotate 180 degrees from point D. Point D, it's a little sloppy, but this is my D. So now, I still want you to imagine you have your X and Y axis now at point D. So this is where point D is. If I were to rotate this figure 180 degrees, doesn't matter if I go counterclockwise or clockwise. In the end, what it's going to do is going to be upside down in this area. So I just want you to think 90 goes this way, then another 180, goes all the way around. So 90 degrees would end up here clockwise. 180 goes here. If you were to go counterclockwise, 90 degrees counter would be in this area. So 180 is down here. Point by point. I already know where D is. Since I'm rotating it off of point D, D prime stays the same. If you want to, go ahead and take your booklet, flip everything upside down. So take everything, flip it upside down so you can see where the points go. If you want, go ahead and take all the points other than D, because D already stays the same, and write them down. But it's a little bit complicated because you're using the blue as your X and Y axis. Remember, you're not looking at the other axis anymore. You're using the blue one as the X and Y axis. So it's just going to be a little bit more complicated for you to do that. My point E, using the blue, it's 1, 2, -3, 0. Point C is -3, 4, 4. And then it goes down 1, 2, 3, -3. My A is at 1, 1, 2, 3, -3. B is at 1.5, 1, 2, 3, 4.5. So I'm going to take my picture and, oh, so do my words get flipped. And that's what happens. And go ahead and graph those points. So D prime is -3. So 1, 2, 3, 0. That's E prime. C is -4, -3. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. That's C prime. A is 1, -3. 1, 2. Remember, we're ignoring the black X and Y axis. We're using the blue one. If it helps you, highlight it. So that's what you use from now on. And then the last point is B, which is the funny one. It's 1.5. And then down 1, 2, 3, 4.5. It's about right there. And there you have it. There is the new pentagon that's been rotated 180 degrees off of point D. Last example, I'd like you to rotate this triangle 90 degrees counterclockwise from point K. Since point K is the point we're going to go off of, I'm going to draw another X and Y axis off of point K. This is going to go 90 degrees counterclockwise. Counterclockwise means it's going to go over here somewhere. So everything gets rotated off of K. If you have to, since it's going to go to the right, counterclockwise, we're going to take our image or take your paper. You're going to rotate it and then write down those new points. So remember, we're going off of the black, the new one. Ooh, maybe I'll make it a different color. We're going off of the red X and Y axis. Going off of the red X and Y axis other than point K, because K is still at itself. K prime will be there. L is now going to be, I wrote that wrong. L is now going to be at 0, and it looks like 1, 2, 3, -3. And J is going to be at +1, 2, 3, -2. So yeah, +1, 2, 3, -2. L is just 0 and then down 3. We're going to take our image, let's flip it back. Now that we flipped it back, just read sideways and write what those points are. So K prime is still in the same spot as where K was. L is 0, 1, 2, -3. So that's L prime. And J is 1, 2, 3, -2. There is J prime. A lot of rotating your paper that you're going to need to do. But there you have it.